Hey guys, so this video is for the dev and design community, and what I'll be doing in this video is simple. I'll be showing you how you can use AI, how you can use artificial intelligence to improve your learning process as a designer. Also, you can use this to improve your work process as a UI UX designer. So we all know ChatGPT, right? And we know that ChatGPT has released a newer version of ChatGPT, which is called ChatGPT 4.0. So to use that, just log into your ChatGPT account and you will see a prompt that is going to ask you to test the ChatGPT 4.0. If you don't see that, then just go to your Chrome browser and then search for ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT 4.0, 4 and letter O, not 4.0, right? ChatGPT 4.0. Then just click here, and when you click here, as long as your ChatGPT account is logged in your browser, you will see a prompt that's going to ask you to use ChatGPT 4.0 on your normal ChatGPT. So ChatGPT 4.0 allows us to upload images to ChatGPT and then get insight, or ask ChatGPT to give us insight from those images that we upload to ChatGPT. And since we are UI UX designers, we can upload a UI design to ChatGPT and get tips or recommendations on how we can improve that design with ChatGPT. So I'll be uploading a design to ChatGPT, right? And this is the UI design I'll be uploading, just a very basic UI design, right? I'll be uploading this design to ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT to look at the design and then tell me what I can do to make the design better. So I would come here over to my ChatGPT account and I would click there, click on this icon here, which is the attachment icon. That's the icon that allows you to upload anything, a file, right? So I would upload this image here. And when I upload the image, I would type in a message and I would say, kindly go through the image, or kindly, let's say kindly suggest, or let's say kindly give me recommendations that can improve the UI design of the image attached. Right now, one tip to using ChatGPT is always speak to ChatGPT like you're talking to a human being, right? If you can communicate with ChatGPT like you are communicating with a human being, then you get the best result. So think of how you would have asked a senior designer to help you. Think of how you would have asked your fellow designer to help you out with something, right? Think of how you'd say it to them. Say it that same way to ChatGPT, right? And you get the best result. So when I type that in, I would press the enter key and I would wait for ChatGPT to go through the image and give me some recommendations. So you'd see that ChatGPT will start giving me some recommendations based on the different elements of that design. As you can see, the recommendations start from typography, spacing and alignment, button design, hierarchy and emphasis, and so on and so forth. Then this is ChatGPT giving me like a suggestion on how I can actually design this better, right? ChatGPT is saying I can align this to the left, put the balance here, put the amount there, then put the two buttons side by side like this. Or I can even do something like, now ChatGPT is telling me add a subtitle or horizontal line or divider after welcome ray. I can put a subtitle here, and maybe I can put a line. Now we can try all of this out in Figma, right? And this is how ChatGPT is finally telling me I can position the design to look like, right? ChatGPT is suggesting that I can position the design to look like this. So let's head over to Figma and let's see if we can use that, or use all the recommendations from ChatGPT to improve that design. So let's come here and let's go into this Figma file and I think the design is here. So let's just use this rough sketch of ChatGPT to see how we can improve the design. So as you can see here in this sketch, the welcome ray text is at the center. It's at the center here also. That's fine. Now, in this sketch here, you can see balance and the amount is also centered. So we can bring this here and we can center that, right? Just like this. And let's look at what we have here. Okay, there's font balance button here on the left and withdraw on the right, spanning across the whole screen, the whole width. So if I come here, that's what we have. That's fine. So can we improve this further? Yes, based on the recommendations of ChatGPT also. So we can come here and read all the advice, all the recommendations or the suggestions from ChatGPT based on these categories. So we have recommendations from ChatGPT based on the typography of the design. You can see under typography, ChatGPT is telling us header. Increase the font size of welcome Ray to make it stand out more as a heading. So what's welcome Ray? This is welcome Ray. ChatGPT is saying we can increase the font size. So I can make it 24 and then make it bold to make it stand out. So that's standing out. Okay, that's fine. Let's look here again for balance, right? For the balance text. ChatGPT is saying ensure the balance amount is clearly readable by using a slightly larger font size or bolding it. The $4,003, the $4,000.03 should be more prominent than the word balance. That's what ChatGPT is telling us. So ChatGPT is basically saying we should make the amount to be bigger than the balance text. So in this case, I would make the amount to be maybe 36, like that, and I'll make it bold, right? So I'll keep it there at the center, and I'll make the amount, that text, I'll make it bold or extra bold like this. And that's it. For this welcome Ray text, let's make it semi-bold, just like this. And I would want us to make the welcome Ray text to be 20 so it doesn't drag some attention with the amount there. And that's fine. You can see we are beginning to improve the design, right? This little design is being improved with the recommendations from ChatGPT. Now let's come over here to spacing and alignment. ChatGPT is trying to give us some recommendations based on the spacing and the alignment in our design. So balance and buttons. ChatGPT is saying increase the space between the balance section and the font balance and withdraw buttons to avoid clutter. So where's the balance section? This is the balance section and the button section. So ChatGPT is saying we should increase the space between this and this. We should increase the space to avoid clutter, to avoid everything looking too close to each other. And I've just done that. Has that improved the design? Yes, it has improved the design. So ChatGPT is saying for the buttons, ensure the buttons are the same width and are centered or aligned evenly across the width of the screen. Yes, the buttons are actually of the same width. Check this out. So you can see this button is 197 in width. This button is 197 in width. It's all balanced, right? And it is spanning across the whole page. Don't forget, I'm making use of a column grid here, a 4-column grid. Now, all of these things are what we all have covered in our UI UX Design Bootcamp. And this is also me trying to announce that the next UI UX Design Bootcamp is starting on the 30th of June next month, right? The 30th of next month, which is June. The registration link is already out, or you can go to our website, which is devdesignhq.com. When you get here, scroll down and you'd see the UI UX design card here. Just click on the register button and you'd be taken to this page. If you are paying in dollars, you click on this button. If you're paying in Naira, you click on that button, right? So I hope to see you all in class. So we are going to cover all of these things in details in our bootcamp. So let's look at more recommendations from ChatGPT. So you can see ChatGPT is also having some suggestions or some recommendations for us based on the design of our button. ChatGPT is saying color and contrast. Use colors for the buttons that stand out more against the background. Dark gray on white is a bit subdued. Consider using a bright color or a gradient. So ChatGPT is trying to let us know that these buttons being dark gray, it's not really standing out with the background being white. So we could use a color that's brighter. So I can choose to use this, right? You can see now that stands out better, right? I can choose to use that for font balance. And for the withdraw button, I can choose to use the lighter version, a contrasting version of font balance. Now, this is something that we also discuss in our bootcamps called a primary action and a secondary action, right? I want users to font their balance more than they make withdrawals. So I would come here and I would make this look like this. And you can see from the recommendation of ChatGPT, we have made this better, right? Let's come here and let's say, okay, hover an active state. This is still a recommendation based on the design of our button. ChatGPT says that we should include visual feedback when buttons are pressed or hovered over, like changing the button color or adding a slight shadow. Now, that's something we are going to do in detail. If this were to be a detailed class, we, of course, could create component variant and implement interaction state using those component variants. But this is just a crash course video, right? So we're not going to spend too much time doing all of that. Now, there is another recommendation, or there is another category of recommendation from ChatGPT based on our hierarchy and emphasis in that design. Balance amount. ChatGPT is saying to make the balance more noticeable, consider placing it in a card or a separate section with a subtle background color. So ChatGPT is saying for this balance, we can choose to put the balance in a card, right? So we can choose to keep that balance there and maybe give it a padding of 24, or let's say 16, right? Come here, keep this here, and we can stretch this to this point. ChatGPT is saying we can put this in a card, right? To make it more noticeable. To make it more noticeable. Something like this, right? Something like this to make it more noticeable. And you can see the design is improving slowly and slowly and slowly. So you can see we have put this in a card to make it more noticeable. So we can also come here. Now, this is something we also discuss in our bootcamps, right? Primary and on-primary color. So we can come here and use an on-primary container color for this text. So that's going to be something dark like this, something like this, right? So you can see we are beginning to improve our design based on the help we get from ChatGPT. Now, for CTA buttons, like the buttons, the call to actions, ChatGPT is saying the font balance and withdraw buttons should be prominent. Use colors that imply action, such as green for font balance and red for withdraw. Now, that's another recommendation from ChatGPT, that we can use green for font balance and red for withdraw, right? Just to make sure that the buttons stand out. Now, that's something we can also try out. Let's bring this here. Let's duplicate this page and let's try that here. Let's first of all make this container to have a light green, not a light blue. Let's make it have a light green color, right? Just like this. Let's give it a light green color, and let's make this text to be really green. Let's make this text to be really green, all right? Or dark green rather. Let's make the text to be dark green like this. And for this button, let's make this button green, and then we will end up making this other button. Okay, let's make it this shade of green. Let's make this one to be red. So this is based off the recommendation of ChatGPT, right? So this could also work. This could also work, right? So you can see we are having different versions of this same design. Now, this design that we have here currently, is this same design that we uploaded to ChatGPT, right? It is still the same design. You can see the difference from this to this. You can see the difference, right? Now, this is how artificial intelligence can be used to improve your work process and give you good results. You would have real-time recommendations from these platforms, from these systems, right? Now, icons and visuals. ChatGPT is also telling us add relevant icons to the buttons to give a quick visual indication of their purpose, e.g. a plus sign icon for font balance and a minus sign or an arrow icon for withdraw. Let's try that. Let's use the material symbols icon and let's see how we can bring in a plus sign for these buttons. So let's come here. Let's wait for the plugin to load. The material symbols plugin. Right. Let's use that. Okay, let's wait for that plugin to load. Or we can try the hero icons plugin. If the material symbols plugin is taking time to come up, now we can wait for that plugin to come up, then take the icons in those plugins and then have them inserted in these buttons, and let's see how it's going to work out. So let's come here. Let's look at another category of recommendations. This is based on consistency, right? ChatGPT is telling us that we should ensure consistent padding and margin throughout the element for a neat and organized appearance. This is something we hammer on in our bootcamps, right? And anyone who's been through our bootcamp will always know that yes, or will be able to say that yes, we hammer on this a lot. So use a consistent font style for and size for similar text elements. We also talk about this a lot in our bootcamps. Then user feedback. If possible, add feedback messages or indicators after performing actions like funding or withdrawing to keep the user informed. This is ChatGPT telling us that we should always display system status, right? So if a user withdraws or a user funds their account, we can use like a snackback component to let the user know that yes, what they have done is successful. That's us giving the user real-time feedback. So the plugin is taking time to load. Let's see if we can implement the icon suggestion and see how it's going to improve our design, right? So let's come here. Let's look at other recommendations. Okay, I think that's all. This is just a little visual sketch from ChatGPT telling us how we can improve the design. And you can see following all these recommendations, or following most of these recommendations, has really helped us to improve the design from what it was to this. And you can see we have this. Now, we all can agree that this, right, is way better than what we have here. Right, way better than what we have here. And this is us doing this with help from ChatGPT. So you don't have to waste too much time as a UX designer these days to know what to do, right? You can use these intelligent systems to get a clue on what to do. Like we've been saying, right? Like we've been seeing online, the truth is the designers who would go out of job are the designers who do not use these intelligent systems to speed up their workflow or to improve their process. So as long as you are a UI UX designer that can integrate these intelligent systems into your workflows and processes, then you'll be able to deliver real user-friendly product at good speed. More importantly, good speed, because this is the time of the world balancing quality and speed. It's no more the time where a company would allow you to take a year to design a product or to take 6 months to design a product. It's no more that time anymore, right? Now there are so many intelligent systems that can assist you in your process to ensure that you deliver quality job or you deliver a quality design within a short period of time. And these systems are there for you to use. Now you can use ChatGPT 4.0 for so many other things, right? You can use it to learn about typography. You can use it to learn about alignment. You can use it to learn about anything you want to learn in design. You can come here in Figma, create a container, put some text in the container, maybe a heading text and a paragraph text. Then you upload the image to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to help you redesign or to help you realign the text so that you can see how it can be done better. Or you can tell ChatGPT to look at the image and give you some recommendations on what you can do better if you were to redesign that image. And ChatGPT will go ahead, look at the image, study the image, and give you good recommendations. So let's look out for the next video in the community. So thank you all. I think the plugins are not loading at all. Let me try this again. I would hope to see the plugins load. Let me try that again. Okay. I'd like to see the plugins load so that we can see how the icons will improve the designs. Okay, I'd like to reduce the size of the text in the buttons. Let me see how that can work even. Okay, I think this icon this plugin rather has just come up. So let's keep the plugin here. Let's see how we can improve the text on the button. Let's make this text to be medium weighted, all of them, right? Let's have them use a medium weight. And we can bring in an icon. ChatGPT is recommending that for the fund balance button, we can put a plus icon. And for the withdraw balance button, we can put a minus sign or an arrow that depicts withdraw, right? So let's wait for this plugin to load 100%. Okay. I think my connection is really poor. Let me try the hero icons plugin. Okay, I think now this is working fine. So let's bring in the plus icon. That's the plus icon there. Now I'll make sure the icon is a 20 dp icon. And let's bring in the minus icon. And that's also going to be a 20 dp icon. Now let's try to take them into these buttons. So fund balance, the icon is there. Or we can make the icon a trailing icon and see. Okay, fund balance. Let's see this also as a trailing icon. All right, I think this doesn't sit well. So we can take the icon out and bring in another icon and make it a leading icon. So let's use an arrow. So if we are using an arrow icon for this, we might also check to see if an arrow icon is going to work here. But for the meantime, let's make this a leading icon and not a trailing icon. Let's make this a leading icon also. Okay, and making this a leading icon even makes it to look better, but the minus sign is still not conventional, right? So we need to adapt, or we need to adopt the Jacob's law of UX to do things that are conventional in a particular industry. So let's come here, let's have an arrow there. So I would bring in this icon for withdraw, right? It's going to be a 20 dp icon. Let's paste to replace this here. Withdraw, yes. And let's rotate this. And let's use that for the fund balance. Now, I believe anyone watching this video that's been through our bootcamp will know the rules behind using icons, how you don't take an icon and how you don't take an icon out of its container, how you don't also shrink the container, and how you don't put the icon directly in an auto layout before you use it. All those rules are rules that are familiar to the students of our bootcamp. So let's come here. Let's have that there. So having these icons in the button actually works, right? It works just fine. So we can also bring those icons here. Let's bring the icon here. Let's select the container. And let's have that there. Let's have this here also. Let's make this white. And let's switch the angle. Let's use the rotation property. And that's it. So you can see, using the recommendations of ChatGPT, we have been able right? To take this design from what it was, which is this. We have been able to take that design from this. From this. You can see how this looks. Using the recommendations of ChatGPT, we have been able to take this design from this to this. And you can see how awesome and how easy it is, right? So we are going to have more videos like this in the community, and we hope to serve you better. Thank you very much, and thank you very much.